No one knows what the future holds, but we can take what we've learned during the pandemic to prepare buildings for future conditions, including health emergencies and natural disasters. The Johnson Controls Flexible Facilities solution modernizes critical building systems with pre-designed operating strategies and equipment configurations that adapt to new requirements, so you can keep your staff and visitors safe and healthy regardless of conditions. So what does that look like? Let's give an example using an urban 10-story commercial office building. Midnight. It's Monday at the Warren Professional Building. City COVID-19 cases continue to slowly decrease with an occasional flare-up, making vigilance still important. The empty office space is ventilated at a reduced rate while in unoccupied ventilation mode, and disinfectant lighting continues to help disinfect the air in restrooms and other spaces. 5 a.m. The control system increases outdoor air and exhaust air to maximum flow rates. It also increases room humidity, which reduces the transfer of the coronavirus. 6 a.m. The control system starts to bring room temperatures back to normal conditions for occupancy. 7 a.m. Tenant businesses are opening and employees are entering the building. They are screened at entrances with thermal scanning cameras. Anyone with an elevated skin temperature waits for 20 minutes in a nearby isolation room maintaining negative pressure to avoid infecting others. If a second temperature measurement indicates a fever, the individual's employer is notified and they are directed to check with their health professional and sent home. 8 a.m. Because of expected afternoon protests in the area, the building security team has engaged the property owner's remote security operations center, bringing in additional support and to access information from law enforcement on the situation. Throughout the incident, the video system and perimeter protection have helped monitor nearby activity. The visitor management and access control system helps keep tenants and visitors limited to appropriate areas of the building. 10 a.m. Back at the lobby, lounge, and cafeteria, the occupant detection system installed to enforce social distancing and support contact tracing for health purposes is also used to adjust ventilation rates to actual space occupancy throughout the day. This assures adequate ventilation while reducing unnecessary energy use and cost. 11 a.m. The local utility is warning of potential grid outages due to summer peak demand loads. The facilities manager checks the backup generator testing and maintenance compliance report to confirm readiness and prepare the facility to operate on emergency standby power. The solar PV and electric battery system, which normally operate to improve sustainability and maximize utility incentives, will instead be used to improve resiliency during a potential grid outage. 1 p.m. The electric grid goes out and the building switches to backup power generation, which maintains power for critical services such as HVAC and lighting. 2 p.m. Unfortunately, a tenant employee becomes symptomatic with a fever. They go to a tenant isolation room, which is a highly ventilated and filtered negative pressure isolation room, while they wait for a family member to take them to a healthcare center for examination and testing. 4 p.m. Because the power outage is during the peak building electrical demand, the building manager initiates a demand reduction sequence for reducing non-critical loads, dimming lights, and adjusting temperatures, which is normally used to capture utility demand response incentives. 5 p.m. The electric grid comes back on as demand on the utility grid lowers. The demand reduction sequence is canceled and normal power is restored. 7 p.m. Businesses are working late. In Suite 915, tenants are meeting with building management to discuss how to leverage federal stimulus funding to implement ASHRAE back-to-work guidelines and mechanical system upgrades to increase tenant safety, increase energy efficiency, reduce costs, and improve resiliency. 9 p.m. There are reports of tear gas releases near the building, so the building manager remotely initiates an emergency ventilation shutdown before confirming the status with on-site building staff. 10 p.m. Because of the amount of regular traffic and confirmation of elevated temperatures at the entrance isolation room, after unoccupied conditions are confirmed by the control system, the controls again increase ventilation and the space is set for disinfectant lighting treatment, which helps cleanse viral contamination on surfaces. 11 p.m. The protest is over, and the building again increases ventilation to flush the building while unoccupied, and disinfectant lighting is set to do its work overnight to help treat potential viral contamination in tenant suites in addition to a thorough physical cleaning. This is just one example of how the flexible facility solution can help commercial buildings implement rapid infrastructure renewal to assure safe, efficient, and resilient operations and flexible emergency response. Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission.